Alright, YouTube. Witchy here again. Camera's still on, right? Yeah. Okay. So, I'm done with my little freak out from earlier. But as far as I see it, I have a lot of things left to do here, where I'm at. I posted a video back in 2016, I think it was, recording a friend of mine who's been diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome. Now, I ain't no doctor. I'm most certainly not a psychologist. Hell the fuck no. But I'm sure, like many of you Americans out there, you've had to go see a guidance counselor, or a social worker, or a psychiatrist, or a psychologist. Pretty sure at some time you've even had to go to the principal's office when you were a kid. A lot of you out there decide to join the military or become a police officer. I can kind of commend you for both of those things. I've only been one. I was a soldier in the United States Army. Was a soldier. Now, the reason they let me go was for smoking too much marijuana. They knew. I'm sure they knew. Every time our company had a piss test, a urinalysis, I'm pretty sure that my name would come up on their list of people who would piss positive for any substance that the federal government doesn't allow people to use. Now, I want to point this out, what had happened. The very night before I found out that I pissed hot on urinalysis. It's what they call it in the Army, pissing hot. The night before, I had gotten on the phone with the aunt of my son, my only son, aunt, depending on which part of the country you're from. So you're still on, right? Yeah, okay, good. Aunt, depending on which part of the country you're from. I'd also gotten a hold of his grandmother. Now, both his aunt and his grandmother, all they could say was horrible things about how the mother of my son was treating him. How he was being mistreated horribly. And all the good attention was being given to, at the time, I think he only had 2 sisters. Sorry, fly. Now my son has 4 sisters. Okay? So, to backtrack, so I can keep track of what I'm saying to all of you on YouTube who decide to watch this. When I started to formulate a plan to get my children into my custody, and I started to write it down in a notebook, on paper, what I was going to do, step by step, to get my child, sorry, I said children a minute ago, to get my child into my custody, the very next day, I found out that I came up dirty on the urinalysis. Now, I was stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. I made this call from California when I was in the National Training Center in Fort Irwin. Shit's still on, right? Yeah. Oh, good. Good. Some of y'all may be able to tell. I'm sure a bunch of you are able to tell. I'm not quite right in the head. Been through a lot of shit. But I've never been through more drama than all the times I have gone to talk to someone who works for the government of any branch, and I talk to them about my kids. Ugh! Fucking sickens me. Literally. If any of y'all are out there watching this shit right now and decide to have kids before you get a good job, and before you go to college, or before you go to a trade school, or before you decide to go into the military, or become a police officer, or fireman, or work for, like, say, the post office, or anything associated with the federal government, if you decide to start having kids before you do any of that, guess what? You're going to wind up just like my crazy ass. Peace. See y'all later.